The scene was chaotic as the insectoid creatures surged over the barricades, their chitinous bodies undulating with a terrifying fluidity. With razor-sharp limbs, they tore through the blast doors as if they were made of paper, unleashing an ear-splitting cacophony of alarm klaxons. Despite the valiant efforts of the defense turrets, their firepower seemed futile against the overwhelming numbers of the enemy. "Fall back to the bunkers." Lieutenant Marlowe's voice crackled urgently over the comms, carrying a note of desperation. "I repeat, all civilians to the bunkers immediately." Ben, his heart pounding with adrenaline, hastily ushered the remaining refugees towards safety. Once bustling with life, the colony now felt eerily desolate, with only a handful of survivors seeking refuge in the reinforced underground shelter. As the last child descended into the bunker, Ben couldn't shake the weight of his own grief. His family had been left behind during the chaotic evacuation, and now he was all that remained of his people on this forsaken rock. Before he could follow, a firm hand clamped down on his shoulder. It was Lieutenant Riley, a seasoned human soldier, her expression hardened by the grim reality of the situation. "Thanks for your help up top, but we'll take it from here," she said firmly, her eyes reflecting a mixture of determination and weariness. "Get yourself to safety." Reluctantly, Ben nodded, his mind swirling with a mix of emotions as he made his way down the ladder into the dimly lit bunker. Inside, the atmosphere was tense as the survivors gathered, their faces etched with fear and uncertainty. Lieutenant Jord, a no-nonsense leader, addressed the group, her voice tinged with grim resignation. "We're essentially trapped down here until an extraction team can fight their way through that swarm," she explained, her gaze sweeping over the weary faces of her comrades. "Our supplies won't last forever, and even if they did, those aliens will keep coming until they break through." The gravity of her words hung heavy in the air, the harsh reality of their situation sinking in. As the soldiers busied themselves with what little supplies remained, Ben couldn't help but wonder if they would ever make it out alive. Vern couldn't shake the question burning in his mind. Why continue fighting when hope seemed lost? He voiced his doubts, only to be met with laughter from the human soldiers around him. Lieutenant Morgan flashed a wry grin, dismissing his concerns. "Yeah, I can see how our situation might seem bleak, but you clearly don't know humans very well," she remarked, her tone laced with determination. "Hope is nice, but sheer bloody stubbornness is what keeps us going." Over the following cycles, Vern witnessed firsthand the unwavering resolve of the human soldiers. They maintained a relentless watch schedule, tirelessly seeking out weaknesses in the enemy's advance. When rations dwindled, they ingeniously recycled organic waste into sustenance without complaint. And as power cells drained, they powered on through sheer grit, operating hand-crank chargers for hours on end. It was during a critical moment on the T-cycle that Vern truly grasped the depth of human resilience. Lieutenant Morgan calmly approached a soldier with a grievous leg injury, offering only a wad of synthetic armor weave for him to bite down on. Despite the excruciating pain, the soldier remained stoic, his resolve unbroken as Morgan cauterized the wound with a laser, the smell of seared flesh permeating the air. Each moment spent among the soldiers revealed their unwavering determination and unyielding spirit. Vern became captivated by their singleness of purpose and unbreakable will. By the 15th cycle, he had committed himself to studying them, determined to unlock the secret of their indomitable nature. The resilience of humans fascinated Vern as he observed their strength stemming from their unity. During routine briefing sessions, which often evolved into heartfelt conversations about their lives back on Earth, he witnessed the bonds of camaraderie forming among them, reinforcing their collective determination to persevere. In their spare hours, the soldiers displayed a diverse range of skills and hobbies, from philosophical debates to inventing games and engaging in meditation or sharing stories that lifted spirits. Unlike Vern's own people, who found strength in communal harmony, humans drew power from their individualism and the creative sparks ignited by their differences. Even amidst their dire circumstances, they fueled each other's hope through competition and camaraderie, keeping their spirits resilient and bright. Lieutenant FJ, noticing Vern's contemplative demeanor during a card game, took a moment to address his curiosity about human strength. "You look like you got a question brewing, friend," she remarked, her gruff voice carrying a note of understanding as she sat beside him. Encouraged, Vern voiced his inquiry about their unwavering resilience. Lieutenant FJ paused, her gaze lingering on her fellow soldiers before offering a candid response. "You're half right," she began, her tone reflecting the weight of her words. "Hope alone isn't enough. Most of the time, it doesn't even enter into it. We keep going because to do anything else is to accept defeat, and humans will never accept defeat." Her gaze met Vern's, revealing the fierce determination that defined them. "We're survivors of an evolutionary crucible, molded by ceaseless adversity over millions of years. Giving up simply isn't in our nature." As her expression softened, Vern couldn't help but feel a newfound admiration for the resilience of the human spirit. "But you're also right," Lieutenant Karsten reflected, her voice carrying a blend of conviction and wisdom. "We find strength in coming together. Our individual tenacity may be unmatched, but it's multiplied by the bonds we form with one another. We draw power from our tribes, from the sparks of culture and cooperation that we create. As long as one of us still fights, we all still fight." With those words, she rose to her feet and moved to rejoin her squad, leaving Vernick stirred and deeply contemplative. Over the remaining cycles of their entrapment, Vernick immersed himself in the soldiers' world, striving to become part of their tribe. He joined in their morning exercise routines and combat drills, pushing himself to match their physical prowess. Delving into their games and artistic pursuits, he found solace and a sense of transcendence in engaging with their cultural practices. As the relentless alien onslaught wore on, Vernick fought alongside the human soldiers with desperate fervor. Though their resistance was ultimately futile, their sacrifice bought precious time for the last refugee civilians to seek safety. Vernick, spared for reasons unknown, carried the memory of Lieutenant Kayla and her indomitable troopers with him as he emerged from the desolate world. Thrown into the greater conflict against the dreaded Casinos, Vernick fought alongside other human soldiers, always striving to integrate himself into their tribe through appreciation of their customs and beliefs. In the generations that followed, the teachings of Lieutenant Karsten and her warriors became the cornerstone of Vernick's philosophy, a testament to the enduring strength of humanity. Through the trials and tribulations of history, Vernick came to believe that the eternal stubbornness and adaptive capacity of humanity would always prevail against any darkness. Forged in one of the cruelest and most hostile breeding grounds in the cosmos, humans found their greatest power in coming together, creating sparks of hope and determination against the overwhelming despair. It became self-evident to Vernick that no matter the challenge, humanity's light would continue to burn bright.